Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of The Faux Show. Today is Sunday, June 29th. My name is Angela.
And my name is Chris.
And as most of you know, The Faux Show is not a real show. It is a social experience because I don't look at you. I look at the chat room, which I have here on my iPad.
Ah, the chat room. Well, I have the chat room full screen on my screen.
It's over there on the monitor where we can see ourselves.
Nice.
It's over here, too.
Hey there. Hi. It's also in the best lower third on the internet over at jblive.tv, where folks have assembled just after the Linux Action Show for this episode of The Faux Show. And what we have done is we have taken their essence, their thoughts, their personalities, and their intellect, and we have condensed it into a lower third right there on our video. Boom, 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 boom.
They are ready.
So, Ange.
Yeah.
I noticed in that, speaking of lower third, right there, it says Mail Sack Special. So what are we talking about today?
Well, this is an awesome teaser image for the Mail Sack Special. We're going to talk about the emails that you guys have sent in that we're going to respond to. Yeah,
the Mail Sack on the Faux Show is your feedback, something that you guys send in, and sometimes it's specifically to the Faux Show. Sometimes it's like a general Jupiter Broadcasting comment, and sometimes I don't even know how she does it. Sometimes like she'll intercept another show's email, she'll capture for herself, hold it in a dungeon, and then unveil it here on the Faux Show to my surprise.
Yes, I will be doing that.
Okay, all right, because I have no idea. I've not seen any of these emails. I don't know what any of these are about.
You've seen at least one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, you tell me when you're ready, because we have a very special new, because we
really
spend,
expensive.
For the Faux Show, you might not know this, but one of the biggest cost centers for the Jupiter Broadcasting Network is our mail sack graphic on the Faux Show. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's extremely complicated, very, very detailed, and it's unique. It expresses the Faux Show's personality, but we thought for the mail sack special, we should start all over again with something brand new, something great. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the mail sack. Mail sack. Mail sack. All right, Andres, what do we got in our first mail sack this week?
All right, Matt writes, "Hello, I just submitted I just submitted a link so that I could listen to your live radio stream on my internet radio, a Grace Wi-Fi internet radio. Many internet radios use Reciva.com, Reciva.com.
Okay.
To manage their list of stations, so you might want to plug it a bit on your shows, and you should see some new listeners."
Oh, Reciva.com.
I used the title Jupiter Broadcasting Live Stream and used the URL jbradio.out.airtime.pro:8000/jbradio_a.
Oh, he's talking about that's the jblive.fm radio stream. He could just put jblive.fm in there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to change the name or URL, I suppose you could contact them. I was surprised it wasn't there already.
Very nice. That is super helpful when folks help us out like that, because there's so many services.
Yes.
And to be honest, like the way we'd really know about them is if we use them, but if we don't use them, like it's not very likely we're going to submit. And if you do, there's likely another audience member out there that also uses that service. So it really does help by doing that.
Yep.
People have also done that. We're on Miro and Pocket Cast. Tech Talk Today just hit Pocket Cast.
Nice.
So there's all the services out there. You can search for Jupiter Broadcasting. If it's not there, I invite you either to A, submit us, or B, contact Angela.
Yeah. And also, if you do want to submit us and you need album art or anything, or want to become one of the people that writes stuff for Jupiter Broadcasting, just let me know and I'll include you in the loop for when we make new logos or release logos or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Are you ready for the mail sack, Ange? Because guess what? All over again.
Mail sack.
Mail sack. Mail sack.
I like the purple.
All right, what is our... I know, I did that for you. The very expensive contractor we hired did that for you, Angela. All right, what is our next mail sack item?
All right, Andrew writes... Different Andrew, by the way.
Okay.
Hey, Chris. H-A-Y.
Good. That's my preferred hey.
I watched Linux Unplugged yesterday, and I'm just as furious as you are about the Steam box.
Uh-oh.
So I quickly made this desktop wallpaper up. I call it Die Alien. I would like to know what you think of it.
All right. Look at that. That's pretty good. But you know what?
What?
His anger might be a little misplaced, because we have now learned that Alienware So here's what happened: is
Okay.
Alienware committed to selling Steam machines, and Steam machines were going to be running Linux with SteamOS. And then Valve, the creators of SteamOS, said, "You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and delay the release of SteamOS till next year." And so then Alienware came out and said, "Oh, well, we're going to go ahead and ship our Steam machine, but we're going to ship it with Windows."
Ah.
So we got all upset about that because, hey, come on now, you're switching from Linux to Windows. Turns out, though, I don't know how well this will work, but Alienware is going to support fully. Like if you decide to change out the operating system to SteamOS, they will fully support it. They will help you even do it. So there's at least a silver lining. You'll be able to upgrade to SteamOS later on.
So Andrew, as Corky states
in our
our
IRC.
lower third there, got to make a live Alienware. Oh, I was reading it. Got to make a live Alienware wallpaper now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't read it when I went full screen?
Well, it just moved.
Your face, Angela.
Yeah.
Your face. Hey, Ange, guess what? If that wasn't enough email for you, we got another mail sack.
Yes, we do.
Mail sack!
Woo!
Not a real show. All right, Andrews, what is our next email?
Okay, Darren writes, "Hello, I am a supporter of the Unfiltered Show via Patreon. Is there an RSS feed available for the supporter show?
There
Love
is
the show."
There is a supporter show RSS feed just for the MP3 version. We are experimenting with a video version of the supporter show that includes all of the clips of the stuff we talk about. There's not a feed for that yet. But if you go to the Patreon page, you'll look at actually just the latest post. I put the RSS feed in there. And it is subject to change from time to time. And there's also a BitTorrent sync, which is a little bit fancier than RSS. Now, the problem with BitTorrent sync is it doesn't integrate with your favorite podcatcher. So we've made the MP3 audio feed available for anybody who's an Unfiltered supporter. However, I do also suggest you check out the BitTorrent sync, and for direct download only for a little bit longer, and we'll eventually make an RSS feed. We also have a video version available. Pow!
JB Live 666 says copyright claim number 2, which no, we have the right to use this music.
That's why we're using this music.
Yep.
And we bought that visual, and I spent time this morning making it when I was sleepy.
And how about copyright number 3?
What is? Oh yeah, yeah, and we're gonna keep playing it because it's obnoxious, and we think that's funny. Are you ready for the next mail sack entry, Andrews?
That's why I said copyright number 3.
Mail sack!
Oh my god. Oh!
Mail sack! Not a real show!
Oh my god.
All right, Andrews, what's our next mail in the sack?
Right. Andrew writes, a different Andrew, which I realized before it was a Matt.
So this is the
Matt,
third?
no, it was Matt, Andrew, Darren, Andrew.
Okay.
It's just that when I was making the doc,
Okay.
I had Andrews back to back, and then I ended up moving them around. So
Andrews back to back.
okay, so Andrew writes, Chris and Ange, listening to your barbecue talk
Oh, all right.
did make me hungry. When you were talking about the tablets that start your coals, you said that they are better than lighter fluid as they don't use nasty chemicals. They are usually made from hexamine or similar that burns hot without leaving an odor or residue.
Oh.
My personal preference is to use newspaper bonbons.
Yeah.
You take a sheet of newspaper and gather it up along one side so that you end up with a band, and then tie it in a knot. I know it. Let's see. It now looks kind of like a bonbon. Putting several of these under your coals makes good kindling that is easy to light, and the knots make it hot spots.
Interesting about
That help
doing
get
the
your
knots.
coals going. Yeah.
That is so I'm not.
Hold on.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
a good, cheap, easy way to start any fire since most people have some newspaper
Yeah.
lying around
Yeah.
somewhere. I
Yeah.
managed to find a website that depicts kind of what I mean.
Well, I know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I do like the knot idea. I think that's particularly good.
Yeah, look at that. So yeah, when he said roll it, I didn't gather that.
So
but
for
yeah.
those of you who didn't catch the barbecue episode because you're a jerk, we here is the Weber fire starters that I talked about.
Somebody likes this isn't a real show.
See, look at these. I want you to look at that price. It's
Wow.
$329. They're really
Okay. I'm sorry, that's cheaper than a newspaper.
I know, right? So the other thing is the paper, although when you tie it like he's talking about, this kind of solves part of this problem. But a lot of times what people do is they smash up paper, and when you light that, when you take the chimney off, it just all of this paper particles go everywhere.
Right.
That might not be the case when you tie it. See, with these, you avoid that. But if you don't like these for whatever reason, because they're like waxy or whatever, he said what they were made of, they also on Amazon have ones that are made from like it's like a sawdust clump.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That zero byproduct, lights up really easy. You can get a big box of them. And these, so I kind of feel like we should just really quickly, just so those people who don't know, is these start with these chimney starters. You use one of these cubes, you light these, they're full of coals, and then the whole thing starts up. You don't have to use any lighter fluid, and it makes just the most wonderful way to start your coals, get them just absolutely perfectly hot, no chemicals, no lighter fluid involved.
Good.
Really nice. Yeah. So yeah, but because the other thing we have is we get a lot of packages from Amazon, and they come with that paper shipping stuff, and you could do the same thing.
That's newsprint.
Yeah, you could just...
It's just not printed on.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could do what he's talking about with that stuff.
Yep.
And we have plenty of that, trust me. All right, are we ready for our next one?
Yes.
Okay, and you know what that means? It's time for the FauxShow Mail Sack. Mail Sack. Mail Sack. Mail Sack. Mail Sack. Not a real show. All right, Andrews.
Okay.
What is our next mail sack?
Daniel writes, "Hey, Chris. I just wanted to share my Ting success story.
Okay.
I got a Netgear mobile hotspot a few months back, and I've only used it a little here and there, but it saved my sanity this week. I started noticing about 10% packet loss on my home cable connection last Friday.
Ooh.
After doing the modem reboot dance with Time Warner, they scheduled a tech to come out, but the first available appointment wasn't until this Friday. I do almost all my work over SSH connections and frequently work from home. If you've ever dealt with SSH over a spotty connection, you know the random lagging and slow screen redraws get to be as annoying as the sound of a mosquito in your ear.
Yeah.
I hate going into the office, but I almost sucked it up and went in, but I remembered I had the hotspot and was able to keep my lazy butt at home. So far, Ting's LTE service has been rock solid.
Good.
I can barely tell a difference between it and the cable connection in my typical day-to-day usage.
Wow.
I really couldn't be more pleased with them. Thanks a ton for turning me on to them.
Wow.
Cheers, Daniel. P.S. I almost rolled out Mosh, but it won't work with the way my network is set up.
Wow, look what's on my screen right now.
This was the perfect use case, too.
Look what I had up on my screen. I was totally going to recommend Mosh.
Well, good.
That's hilarious. Okay. So first of all, I'm not even kidding. This was not even set up ahead of time. I had no idea what this email was. Also on my screen, I happen to also have the Netgear Zing from Ting. So I was about to talk about the Mosh, and so that's crazy. Totally unprepared.
Right.
So Mosh is a great mobile shell. I wonder why it didn't work for him. I'd love to hear why Mosh didn't work, because I've been using Mosh. It's really cool. Why don't we talk about Ting, though? Go over to faux.ting.com. They're the sponsors of this week's episode of The Faux Show. And here's what's great about Ting. No contract, which means no early termination fee, and you only pay for what you use. It's a flat $6 a month. Think about how economical that is, because the way cell phone bills work now is they get you to psychologically think, well, I might need X amount of minutes, I might need X amount of text and X amount of data, so I better pay into the next plan above that, and that's how they get you. They are screwing you. Go over to faux.ting.com because it's mobile without any of the BS. Only pay for what you use, and check out some of the great devices. And by the way, faux.ting.com, you're going to save $25 off your first device. The Netgear Zing's got an OLED screen. You get Wi-Fi 802.11n. It's a tri-band LTE device. You're going to get the best LTE speed possible. $139 when you go to faux.ting.com. And then after that, it's a $6 hotspot. That's all you pay is $6 a month. You buy it at $139, and then boom, just pay for your usage. So 1 month when you're heavy, you pay for it. And the other month when it sits in your drawer because you didn't go anywhere, you don't feel guilty about that. It's a flat $6, brah. It's awesome. And they've also got other great devices, like they have the brand new HTC One M8. This is the best Android phone on the market, and you can own it fully when you buy it from Ting. And of course, if you're an iOS user, they've got the Apple iPhone 5 starting at $250.
Wow. Awesome.
$250. You got the iPhone 5. You only pay for what you use. Isn't that crazy? Another great mobile data device, the Novatel MiFi. It's a little bit cheaper.
I like the LED.
Yeah, you like the OLED screen?
Yeah, it looks like a tricorder.
It totally.
I could totally see you scanning Dylan in a cafe or something.
There is a high data signal here, Mr. Dylan. Most illogical. So there's a lot of great options, and when you go over to faux.ting.com, it'll take $25 off your first device. If you've got a device you want to bring to Ting, well, they'll take $25 off your first month or so. They're going to give you a $25 credit. That actually, my first bill was like $22, so that more than paid for my first month of Ting service. It's a really awesome service, faux.ting.com. And a really big thank you to Ting for sponsoring the Faux Show. Faux.ting.com. Find out why 98% of people would save money with Ting. All right, Andrews, are we ready for our next mail sack entry?
Yes, we are.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I just happen to have a graphic that goes perfectly with this. Mail sack!
Oh my God, you scare me every time you do that. He's dancing like a total... I don't even know how to...
Not a real show! All right, Andrews, what is our next mail sack entry?
I think the neighbors need to hear sound every once in a while.
Right, let them know, we're okay.
Yeah, we're here.
They're like, what the hell is going on over there? Seriously.
Only on Sundays.
Mail sack? What is he screaming?
Oh my gosh. And all they ever see pretty much is you and Rakai.
Yeah. And
All right. So Victor writes, when you mention DigitalOcean, please talk about the community site. There's so much good information or good stuff in there related to hosting setups. They even have Docker tutorials now. Want to install WordPress with Nginx?
Darling. Ange.
Nginx?
Don't make me call up Alan. But it is pronounced Nginx.
Okay, I got it the second time.
All right, okay.
All right, and then he said 1, Google, 2, DigitalOcean ranked high, and then he's got a link to it, installing WordPress with that thing. Just look at that tutorial, in depth with pictures, and really explains what you need to do, and all licensed under Creative Commons.
This is not a promote. DigitalOcean does not sponsor the Faux Show. We don't make any money by talking about this right now. In fact, you could technically say we're losing money because we're not using this in a sponsor spot. But I do agree that this community area is awesome. And what happens is we hear, like this morning before I started last, a couple of folks joined the chat room and we're like, dude, seriously, I know it's an ad, but thank you for telling me about DigitalOcean. And it is awesome. And so it's great to hear how people are using it.
We're picky about who we advertise.
Exactly.
So,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
We really are genuinely picky. And I think part of the thing that we don't communicate well enough is the fact that we are turning away folks all the time. Like I think because that's kind of like a braggy thing, so it's hard to come out and be like,
right, yeah.
Yeah, we turn down advertisers because we're that good. But we actually do turn down advertisers all the time. And you can ask her. She monitors the money. She knows.
Yes.
Okay, Ange. Now I don't know. Do you happen to have another email over there? 'Cause
I do.
I got something new.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew about
this. Yes.
But it's time for FauxShow Mail Sack. Not a real show. All right, Andrews, don't worry. It's not getting old at all. I'm still enjoying it. Okay,
perfect.
What is our next email?
All right, Callum writes, remember in 2009 you made a microphone roundup best for podcasting?
Yes.
Has that changed? Also, what is the mic you use for all of your shows?
What a great question. I
thought so too. It's really small, considering that huge intro. I think I read it in about a fraction of that time.
Yeah, the intro took longer than the email, which is perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly how it should be.
Okay.
It's interesting. It has changed a little bit. There are Audio-Technica and a few others have USB microphones that are pretty good. However, I should go find a YouTube video. Have you seen this? Do you remember how freaking old this looks?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's bad.
You?
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. Podcasting, I don't know what to search for. Podcasting, microphone, Jupiter Broadcasting maybe. It's so embarrassing. I almost don't want to even tell people to go look at it.
Is it when you're super heavy?
Wow.
What?
I'm super heavy now. Well, not really.
You were more heavy then.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. You want to see it?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Action Show's
you're
in-depth
not that
look
heavy.
at USB podcasting microphones.
I sound like I'm 12.
I like to do me a little bit of podcasting.
You sure do.
And I use a lot of mics, so I thought we definitely have an interest
I still have that shirt,
in the audience
Yes.
for USB-specific mics. USB is great because it means you don't have to have a lot of expensive equipment, maybe an amp, a board, things like that for a traditional XLR mic. USB you plug directly.
And you can see it's done pretty well. It's got 41,000 views.
There's our 7th copyright claim.
So there, I'm talking about the Rode Podcaster. I still have that particular microphone. And this is actually my favorite podcast. I hate the Blue Snowball. Do not buy the Blue Snowball.
Yeah.
I actually think the Yeti is crap too. It's better, but it's crap.
Yeti.
Blue doesn't see. The problem is Blue just doesn't make any good products that are microphone related. The Yeti is the closest they get to a decent product, but compared to the Rode, because the price is so close to the Rode, you literally get probably 5 times better a microphone for the Rode, and at the same time, the thing the Yeti has going for it is it has a stand. To be honest with you, is the Yeti comes with a stand. The Rode Podcaster doesn't come with a stand. So if you need a stand, the Yeti is good enough that you could use the Yeti. So that would be the one amendment I would make to this video. So I would no longer compare the Snowball. I would compare the Yeti. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I actually think this video still stands up. My recommendation was the Rode Podcaster, all in all. And I think that it's... I know, right? Look at me there.
I like that shirt.
I still have that shirt, too. Yes, the short answer is yes. The long answer is there's a few amendments I might make now.
Okay. All right. I think we're ready for...
Are you serious? We have
another graphic.
Good news, Ange, because I've got this really special limited time mail sack graphic I wanted to show you. All right, Andrews, what is our next email submission?
Robert writes, hey, I emailed Chris about 2 weeks ago.
Uh-oh, I know where this is going.
Which, guys, if you want your email seen, send it to me.
That's the pro tip.
All right, okay. Well, which he did, because this is in the mail sack. About spreading the word on a weekly watch party I'm setting up for Lass. I have a local restaurant that is willing to let us commandeer their TVs to watch the show live at the restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. It would be in St. Petersburg, Florida, and we need a minimum of 10 people. I set up an email address for people to RSVP, lass@ryancarter.info.
We need to get that in the last show, too. So
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is such a...
So he obviously didn't see your email.
No.
So, yeah, if you guys are interested and you're in the Florida area, email him. You can ask for details or whatever, lass@ryancarter.info. It'd be really cool to see like a picture of people sitting there watching Lass at a restaurant.
Very much so. Flash update from our chat room. Corky has made an Alienware wallpaper, and it says, long live Alienware here at the bottom. You can't where it is. Long live Alienware. Yeah. So there you go. Should I put I'll put that in the show notes. So if folks want that Alienware background, they can have it.
Yes, Kai P. That would be a good idea for your summer project.
What's that?
Yeah, send in your summer projects.
Oh, summer projects. Are we still doing that?
That's next Sunday. Yes.
Okay.
I have plenty of submissions. Would like more.
Angela at JupiterBroadcasting.com. Please include a description of your project. In the subject line, say that it's a summer project, and include your IRC nick.
Yep.
And if you please would, it would be really awesome if you could include a picture. And bro, you got a cell phone, it's got a camera on it. And I use by the way, for me, bro is a unisex term.
Yeah.
Because I know that the ladies got cell phones too. I've heard of that.
Yep.
All right, is that it?
No.
Oh, okay, good, because it turns out, guess what? Mail sack. Mail sack! Woo! Mail sack! All right, Andrews, what's in the sack now?
Anthony writes, hello, I just want to say that I love the work you all do, and I love several of your shows. If I could...
Those other ones are crap, though.
I would love to help in some way other than donations due to personal financial issues.
Sure.
I was also curious, as someone trying to start a career in IT, specifically Linux, I was wondering what type of suggestions you might make. Currently, I am a computer repair technician and sales consultant at a retail store in the U.S., and I want to leave the sales environment.
Suggestions for how to help?
Let's see, I was curious, someone starting a career in IT.
Okay.
What type of suggestions you might make for furthering probably the Linux career?
Okay, all right. So I think it sounds like he's at a point in his career where maybe he hasn't locked into an area that he can super specialize in. And I think as IT becomes more generalized and outsourced, and I hate to use this term, globalization actually becomes a thing that affects IT. You have contractors. What you really need to do is find an area where you can really become an expert in that area. You can own that thing, so that way when somebody needs to solve a problem, you become the guy that knows the solution. And so for some folks, that's like database stuff, it's web services. For some people, it's scaling, it's storage, it's, there's different areas in Linux you can really sort of super focus on and really become an expert in that field. That'll make you very valuable. That'll sort of drive up what you are worth in terms of wage. And if eventually over time you could sort of build up a reputation and build up a profile on LinkedIn and build up a profile online, and it's a full frontal attack too. You probably need to be blogging about these topics and talking about these topics in a public sense, so that way when potential employers want to hire you, they do a search for your name and they see relevant information that you've been talking about this for a while. So if your name, what's his name? Rob. So when they search for Anthony, they will see that Anthony has been talking about this not just for the last 6 months, but for years, and that Anthony's been thinking about this, and that Anthony might even be a thought leader in the space. And all of this is to say, I can't really answer the question until you figure out what it is that really excites you about Linux, about the particular problem that Linux is solving that gets you really excited. Focus on that, and then make a career out of that particular aspect of it.
Yeah, so I had 2 suggestions. I would say check out linuxfoundation.org, right? There's got to be some links and resources there.
And, not to plug another sponsor, but
Linux Academy.
Linux Academy.
Totally was going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because you can go there, you can
dabble.
Yeah, exactly.
And see what feels right without fully committing.
Yeah. Go to linuxacademy.com/coders to get a discount for that. And just check out some of their training, see which ones stick with you, and that'll give you a sense of what you sort of have an innate talent for, what particularly piques your interest, and then you can just expand upon that. That's why we made them a sponsor.
Yep. All right, this is the last one.
Okay, Andrews, well, good news. I don't know if you knew this, but we have something really special for the mail sack. It's a brand new graphic. Not a real show. Okay, Andrews, what is our last mail sack entry for this week?
Okay, well, so there's actually 2 left, so I'll let you choose.
Wow.
One is from Rob suggesting that we bring Nixie Pixel to our network.
Okay.
And the other is about Juice and its inability to pull the MP3s from our MP3 links.
Juice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds like a problem we need to solve. Let's talk about Juice.
Okay.
All right.
Let me get that.
And is this is like a podcast catcher? I will do Googling.
So the original email that I got was, I'm wondering if one of your RSS URLs might be wrong. Your website MP3 RSS shortcut is feedpress.me/T3MP3.
A new feed. I think, yes. Okay.
But when I put that URL into my, he's not the first person.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When I put that URL into my podcast catcher Juice, it reveals downloads only MP4 videos.
That's weird.
I'm wanting MP3s. I'm thinking your shortcut might be pointing to something wrong. So I responded. And
he's like, hey, dog.
And said to Kent, I said, thank you for writing in. You're the second person using it. Is there anything else that you can provide me to troubleshoot it? So he did. He said, thanks for getting back to me. He was wondering if he was the only Juice person. He's running Juice version 2.2 on a Windows 7 64-bit box. He said he deleted all of our URLs from Juice and re-entered all of them, but the problem still exists. He even tried uninstalling Juice and doing a reinstall, but the problem persists. He installed Juice on a separate Windows 7 box and entered the URLs, and the same problem showed up. And he's still got an old drive with XP loaded on it, and he's got the same Juice problem with our podcasts on that XP copy as well. He attached some screen grabs, and yeah, so he said that he listens to a lot of podcasts. Ours is the only one doing this.
So we are trying out a new MP3 service called feedpress.me. We're trying to test switching from FeedBurner. Google bought FeedBurner a few years ago. We were already all in, sort of, as you say, Ange, balls deep into FeedBurner. And then they started having problems. So we're trying out FeedPress. Now, here's the thing. I cannot replicate this problem. And I hate being the guy that says that. I hate it when people say that.
No, and I tried too.
Here's the feed right here. You can see it's giving me I think when they were trying this, I think FeedPress was screwing up, and I think it was serving MP4s. So I'd be curious now if they had fixed it.
So he linked me a FeedBurner URL. He said, but if I put the all Jupiter podcasts into Juice, all I get are MP4 videos.
Oh,
and that's at
whoa.
feedburner.com.
Okay, then that's a Juice problem. Because FeedBurner we've had literally for like 7-8 years.
Yeah, and he said,
and there's tens of thousands of people subscribed to that feed. So.
And he said that he can see that they're MP3s. The links are MP3s.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Huh. He said, I'm thinking there's probably something broken in Juice, but where does one drill to find it? He has 90 different podcasts loaded into Juice.
I don't even understand how that's technically possible, because the MP3 feed or whatever doesn't even have links to the MP4 version of the file.
I would, yeah.
Because it's just an enclosure in an RSS feed. It almost is like Juice is looking at the actual page post, scanning all of the files that are linked on that page post, and finding MP4 downloads.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. That's really strange. Okay. So if any of you out there have Juice and could help us troubleshoot, maybe shoot an email to Angela at jupiterbroadcasting.com and let her know.
And so that concludes the mail sack. If you want to be included in the mail sack, just email me something. You can go to our contact page on jupiterbroadcasting.com/contact, or you can just email me directly, Angela at jupiterbroadcasting.com. Be sure, if you use the contact form, select the show that's most relevant to it. I'm getting a lot of general submissions for Linux-related stuff, and the Linux producers don't see that. Only I do. And so then it's up to me to forward that on, and I do most of the time. But if
that's humans. You can only expect so much. We're just monkeys. I do the same kind of stuff, so no judgy.
Yep. And then also, I do still want to see some more projects come in. You can email me, Angela at jupiterbroadcasting.com. Put the title, say summer project, somewhere in the subject line. Include a picture, your IRC nick, or a nick that you prefer to go by. And
something we might know you by,
and a brief description. I don't need a book.
If you don't use IRC, because sometimes you get emails like, "Hey, I didn't give you my nick because I don't use IRC."
Yeah.
If by chance you are on Twitter, you could put your Twitter handle in there. We'd take that too.
Yep.
Just the only reason is because for us, it's fun to actually get to know who's talking and watching and things like that. So it's kind of a neat thing.
And I mean, you're getting an award.
Yeah, bro. What's up?
Gotta put your name on it.
Also, if you love what we do, if you think what Jupiter Broadcasting is doing is great, we'll have links in the show notes where you can support us. Patreon.com/today/unfilter, for example. Those would be locations you could go to financially contribute to the Jupiter Broadcasting Network and invest in what we're doing. All right.
That's it for this episode of the Faux Show. We'll see you next week. Did you enjoy this Faux Show? Well, guess what? You can catch more at jupiterbroadcasting.com and subscribe to the weekly RSS feed. Spin Doctor says, with that music, everyone outside the room will think I'm watching porn.
I do kind of have a thing for the porn music, don't I?
Yeah, you do. Yes. Last week, while I was waiting for you to do whatever you were doing, you had something, and it was like there was moaning involved.
Well,
I was like, what the heck?
Sometimes that's the secret agent station, and they have and spies have a lot of sex. So. Note, there is a penis.
Do you see that?
With a, what did you call it? A Prince Albert piercing?
Prince Albert.
Why is it called a Prince Albert piercing?
I don't know. I guess he had that type of piercing.
How do you know that?
It's common knowledge.
No, I've never. First of all.
Okay, chats. You've heard of the Prince Albert? I mean, it's like. Okay.
Wait, are you telling me?
Check. Okay. So no. Let me. If I got my nipple pierced, and that was something that Princess Diana did, it would be called the Princess Diana.
First of all, I'm a little distracted by what you just said. Second of all, I've never heard of having a bell pierced on your penis as the Pierce Albert.
Oh, not necessarily a bell. This is a purse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is a purse. I see that. I was just distracted by the other things.
No,
all right. Okay. Apparently that's a thing.
It's not normally a bell. It's normally a loop. But yeah. Kai P says it's a pierced penis head.
I didn't know that. Why would you ever want to do that? Think about the challenges that will present in your life. Do you want to go get a beverage?
I just want to spit out my gum.
Yeah, you should. What are you, some sort of noob? Oh my gosh, right, chat room?
Okay. It's very popular in Chicago, apparently, says Nate UK.
Why? Like, I mean, not to get like totally dirty, but like the female equivalent, I understand because I believe it can contribute to improvement of enjoyment. But on the male side, that just seems like it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get infected.
Count Zero says you have a bell so people can hear you coming.
Oh,
Was that a pun?
yes, a dirty pun.
It's great. Yep, I am always right. I like keeping warm award. I like keeping warm award. And then drag it this what? And then drag it back in.
How's it?
Alabama. Wow. And then drag it this what? Let's look at that.
Of the dog?
Alabama.
I'm just out of here. I cannot be associated with this today.
I like
I Jim and
I
Today.
keep bird Google.
You're always wearing shorts. That puts
New age.
she did cold and doo-doo.
I like
I Jim and
I
Today.
keep bird Google.
You're always wearing shorts. That puts
New age.
she did cold and doo-doo.
And then drag it this what? And then drag it back in.
How's it?
Alabama. Wow. How the heck do you use this? Serious? Just look at that. Dude.
I like what smells dang good.
How the heck do you use this? Serious? Just look at that. Dude.
I like what smells dang good. I'm just out of here. I cannot be
Right?
associated with this.
And then drag it this what? And then drag it back in.
How's it?
Alabama. Wow. And then drag it this what? Just look at that.
Of the dog?
Alabama.
I'm just out of here. I cannot be associated with this today.
I like
I Jim and
I
Today.
keep bird Google.
You're always wearing shorts. That puts
New age.
she did cold and doo-doo.
I like
I Jim and
I
Today.
keep bird Google.
You're always wearing shorts. That puts
New age.
she did cold and doo-doo. I'm just out of here. I cannot be
Right?
associated with this.